Live from Los Angeles here on this Five Nights at Freddy's opening night. Yes, it's on Peacock simultaneously. We call that day and date. We don't know what Universal's thinking, but we're still excited because we're going to have a big hit this weekend at the multiplex, as this film should be able to push 50 plus million, and that's with a day and date streaming. That's insane. Think what this film would do if it were just theatrical exclusivity, right? It'd be much bigger. Because when you look at the sales, let's do it right now. Let's go right to the sales at AMC down the street from me at the Burbank 16. We start there, and this is the 8:30 going off in about 30 minutes or so, and you can see this thing is 90% or so full. Remember, those first two rows are always going to look like that because it's just tight up there. Even though this is prime, it's not IMAX, but it's still big. By the way, important to note, they don't have IMAX screens. So, yeah, IMAX is still with Killers of the Flower Moon. Kudos to Apple for getting that for a second straight weekend. Let's go to the next place, and then I'm going to give you thoughts on the movie because I'm telling you, I sat on this all last night. If you haven't seen the reaction stream, go watch it. Nothing's going to change from my reaction. I'm going to dig and go harder on this film because it is such a disappointment. But I want to talk about financials quickly, get that out of the way. Five Nights at Freddy's, here it is, 8 o'clock. This is the one that's gone just right now over at Universal. This is just one of the regular screens, and it's about, 90% full? Again, day and date on Peacock. Here's the Dolby at Century City, Ken's favorite place in the world, and it's 90% full. This is fantastic. This would be completely sold out. Every one of these screenings would be sold out tonight if it were not on Peacock. I'm serious. That's how big of an issue this is. I can't believe that Universal did it. But let's talk about what I have this thing at. About 60 million, which is really high. Okay, that's a big number. A lot of people at 50. Some have it at 70. I'm going to split the difference at 60 without the Peacock aspect. You're looking at 80 plus, maybe 90. It could be a record-setting weekend without that. Let's hope it does well. But let's talk about this because we discussed it last night. Why is this film so disappointing? As I titled this video, why does Five Nights at Freddy's suck so bad? Okay, let's just get into it. Because when you think about this film, and this is why I am raging on this film as hard as I am, and I'm about ready to, because here's the deal. When you have established IP that it's beloved, not by me, but by millennials, right? They adore Five Nights at Freddy's. Last night at the screening, people dressed up like it was Halloween. In case you didn't notice, look, we have orange outfitted the entire MMT studios here. We are days away from Halloween. Looking forward to that on Sunday night. Big show talking about the best horror films of the past. Let's go 5 years, maybe 10, just because those will be easier to access for things that you haven't seen. Now, let's continue back to Freddy's. You had all these people super excited to see it. They are stoked. They are hardcore fans. They were freaking out once you finally get to the animatronics, once you get to the physical realization of the Freddy's characters in this film. That's where it delivers. And like I said last night, you did the hard part. You made the video game characters appear real with the help of Jim Henson, who did a fantastic job. I mean, these things look as good. Like if you were to say, give me the tangible physical realization of this world, boom, there it is. And then you give it this script. And I mean, if I'm a millennial and I grew up playing this game, if this is like, mythology to me, like Star Wars geeks, right? The MCU comic book nerds. I'm not one of those people, but if I were, I would be so pissed here tonight after seeing this film and what they did to this film. Instead of making it a fun, wild Willy's Wonderland, which is a total rip of Five Nights at Freddy's. No one's going to argue that. But watch Willy's Wonderland, Nick Cage. That film is a blast because of Cage, because it doesn't take itself seriously. It doesn't have all this emotional bullshit tied onto the film. I mean, what were they thinking when they wrote this script? You've got Hutcherson sitting there miserable the entire time. He has no charisma in this film. He is a drag to be around. When your leading person, the leading actor or actress, is a drag, no fun. Not just because their character, just they're no fun, period, and their character sucks. That's what happens in this film, and you're stuck with Hutcherson for virtually every frame of the movie. And then you have him dealing with the grief of losing his brother who was abducted, like the kids who inhabit the characters in Freddys, right? They're dead kids that are operating the robots. Those of you who don't know the mythology of this. And so you have that going on. And you're like, why? Why are we doing this? Why did you do this? How does Jason Blum think this is acceptable? I mean, this is totally unacceptable. Someone, whoever wrote this script, I understand it's probably the video game guy, right? That's what I heard. It's the video game dude who wrote it with the director helping out. Let me tell you, that should never have happened. This movie had been made with that script. No chance. This is an unmitigated disaster of a script considering the IP in play. If we didn't know the IP, if they're just creating this world of Freddys for the first time and we'd never seen it until this film, then we don't have that approach. But even then, the movie sucks, okay? But I'm just telling you, if I were a fan of Freddys and I went to see this film, I'd be like, oh my God, you gave me the hard part and you fucked the whole film up. I mean, this makes me reconsider Blumhouse's involvement with every horror film going forward. If you can't get this right, what are you doing? And you're going to say, well, Megan, you're going to go back and give me all the films that they've done well. Don't say Halloween Ends, okay? There's another. I don't think, and I'm going to say, if you look at their films, and I'm not going to do it here tonight, going all through their filmography, but I'm going to tell you, if you were to largely go over every one of their films, greatness is rarely achieved by Blumhouse. That's just the cold, hard reality of it. And when you're handed this IP that you should hit a grand slam with, and you essentially all but strike out, you maybe leg out one to first. On that third strike, you whiff, and you somehow get to first base. The only reason you got there is because the catcher dropped the ball, and then he did a horribly wild throw to first. That's the only reason they got to first base is because of the characters, because of the animatronics in this, because the rest of the film is hot trash, and it's a total disservice to the fans. There's a story I read many years ago of Japanese tourists who went to Paris. They had waited their whole life to go visit Paris, and when they got there, the reality of what they saw did not match the expectation they had in their head. And I can only imagine the Freddys fans watching this film this weekend going, Jason Blum, you bent us over and did us bad. I mean, it can't be said any more graphically than that. This is an abomination of an adaptation, and Jason Blum should be ashamed. There's no other way to put it. Absolutely no other way to put it. And he has to be told that. Someone has to tell him. I don't care if he's some big shot producer here in LA. You fucked up, dude. You screwed up with a crap film, and you were handed something that should have been good. How do you think this is good? Because if you think this is a good film, Jason Blum, then you, my friend, I don't know how you ascended as high as you did in Hollywood, because this is shit. This is a crap film, and I'm angry for the fans of Freddys because you did them dirty. And I should be angry. And I'm not even a fan of this franchise. And I'm pissed off here tonight. I almost didn't do a stream, and I sat there and said, no, you know what? Someone needs to get up, and if I see Jason Blum, I'm going to tell him. How did you fuck that up? You know you did. He knows he did. If he thinks this film is good, Jason Blum, you have no taste. Zero. I don't care anymore. I'm just attacking everything, because when you fuck up as bad as you do with this film, and I haven't used the F-bomb this much in a film because I'm so pissed for the people that loved this franchise, and you did them dirty. It's absolutely incalculable what he did to this. It's not just very disappointing, Gone Girl. It's if you're a fan of this, I can only imagine the trauma, the psychological trauma that Blum has put these fans through by okaying this script, which is arguably the worst script ever written as an adaptation for any source material ever in the history of film. That's how terrible this is. It's an absolutely wasted opportunity to bring back Jim Henson Animatronics. They nailed it. The screenplay's terrible. Blumhouse, listen, Michael, welcome to the channel. Blumhouse, I'm just telling you, let's just pull up a thing. I'm gonna pull up a list of all the Blumhouse films, and I'm gonna tell you, I've seen most of them. So I'm only gonna tell you the ones I've seen, and I'm gonna tell you whether it was great, average, or forgettable or terrible. Okay, let's go. Let's get Blumhouse film list. This is the channel. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do. Every night I don't know what I'm going to do. I just come on here and start ranting and raving. Here we go. Let's go back and we start with, here we go. Pull it up. Let's go to paranormal activity. Okay. You go to that. Go ahead. You can cut that out and use that down the road. That'd be fun. All right, here we go. So you got Paranormal Activity. And then that was the massive hit for them that really got them and created that brand. And then they had Sinister, very good film. I think it just voted like the scariest film ever. Okay, so I don't know who answers these things. I just read that it was the scariest film to some people, to audiences. Okay, let's go to the next. Purge. For what it is, not bad. Insidious. There's ones that are decent and ones that are terrible, but certainly the last Insidious was horrible. Oculus was actually, let me speak to Oculus. I liked Oculus. It's a haunted mirror, and it's got a really nice finish. Mike Flanagan directed that. I didn't know that. I did not know that Flanagan directed that. I like that film. All right, let's keep going. Purge, Anarchy. It starts to go down as the Purge goes on, right? Whiplash was their film, but it was actually Sony's Pictures Classic, but they had something to do with it. Let's leave that out of it. Whiplash is arguably a masterpiece, okay? So that's out, okay? Ouija? My God, did I even see that? I don't remember. Let's see what else. Unfriended, I love. So I'm going to give them definitely 2 thumbs up on Unfriended, not 2, The Dark Web. But the first one's amazing. For one of those screen time movies, it's so strong. I love that film. Okay, and the rest, The Gift. Oh, that wasn't really them. That was ST. I love The Gift. That's another MMT recommendation. Must see. Let's see. Gem of the Holograms I loved too. Okay, I've just harassed Blumhouse and now I'm realizing I like. But okay, as of late, have they had a great Truth or Dare? Did I even see that? I mean, they just put out so many films. But you go back and look at Halloween. Halloween Ends. Obviously, they destroyed that franchise. And so now let's just say this, because some of you think that the Exorcist is terrible, which I think it's actually very strong. I think Believer's good film, which I know is insane. You guys are like, oh my God, Weber says good. But think back to Halloween, destroyed a franchise. Five Nights at Freddy's, destroyed a franchise. I can't believe that people were cheering for this movie last night. But yeah, you see your characters, but you everything around it is a disaster, an unmitigated disaster. Okay, and it's not fun. It's not particularly well done. The direction is adequate. It's not amazing, right? It's not elite direction. It's just average, okay? Thank you. It is. I agree with you. Unfriended is super entertaining. It's tight, and it never loses its narrative thrust. And I love, right, just constantly, it starts as this innocent thing where they're on Skype, and then all of a sudden, you're just like ramping up, and they bring in all the friends, and then someone dies, and the next, and it's like, brrr. I love the build of that film. It's really strong. Gordo the Weirdo. Hell yeah. You guys are rocking it tonight. Watch out, Phantoma. Watch out. But if you think that's garbage, that means that they have now ruined Halloween, they've ruined Exorcist, and they have ruined Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know if Prey? That's not the what was Prey? Hold on, let me go back and look at that. Hold on. That wasn't the one. Prey wasn't the one. Did they do Prey? No, that's a different film. That's not the other one. That's not the fuck. Just one of these nights. This is why I almost didn't do a show, because my head is like fried tonight. But I just wanted to get on there and just say, I had to tell Jason Blum that he completely effed over every fan of Five Nights at Freddy's tonight. I mean, between Believer and Freddys, Blumhouse isn't having a good time with reviews. Poncho, it's Listen, Believer's a much better film than Freddy's, though. I mean, let's please, 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 everybody, please understand, it's not even close. Thank you, Predator. Yeah, that's what I thought with Prey. Believer is a well-made film. As much as I destroyed David Gordon Green for Halloween Ends, as a filmmaker, I cannot fault him. I think he has very good instincts. He knows how to tell a story. I think Believer's a strong film. I enjoyed it a lot, certainly much more than I expected to. Now, you can't even compare Believer to Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, this screenplay, could you write a worse screenplay for this? Because I could write one better. We could do it right here tonight. You would just have the janitor, right? The security guard. My bad. I'm sorry, everybody. Five Nights at Freddy. Don't freak out that I just called him the janitor instead of the security guard. So he's the security guard. I'm thinking of Willy's Wonderland. He was the janitor, right? He had to clean the place up, even though it was a drag, just like it was total rip. But when you look at the man, so you've got the security guy, whoever it is, you got to have somebody. First of all, you've got to cast. Hutcherson was terribly cast. You've got to cast someone here who is fun, who has a sense of humor, because it's if you haven't seen the film yet, let me just explain. This isn't a spoiler. When Hutcherson finally meets the Five Nights at Freddy crew, right? And they're all in front of him. His reaction is something like this. He's literally, for the first time, witnessing the live animatronic with his sister, not his daughter. It looks like his daughter. His sister, who's like 25 years younger than him. And he looks at them and goes, he doesn't even have a line that says something like, "Are you kidding me?" Whatever. I already said enough F-bombs. Why don't I say another one? But here's the thing. That's terrible in and of itself. That alone, his first reaction to the Freddy's characters. But yet, all the fans in the attendance last night, I was listening to them on the way out. I like to listen to people, and they're like, "Oh, God, it's great, wasn't it?" I'm like, "You guys are dumb. Like, how dumb are you?" I'm sorry, guys. You know I don't even care anymore. I mean, literally, to think that Five Nights at Freddy's is a good film, you instantly are announcing to the universe that you are dumb. Like, and you have expectations that are below the lowest bar. If your expectations, I would hate to meet your significant other if this is your expectation of movies, your expectation of your significant other, I don't want to see it. Weber's doing it again. Oh, Weber's at it again. He's attacking people again. They need to make a horror movie about the back rooms. The Invisible Man was not good, Jeffrey. Invisible Man was not. First of all, now I'm going to get angry. Oh, man, guys. The Invisible Man was terrible. Here's when it's terrible, too. When they're in the restaurant, she's there with her friend, right? And they're having the conversation. And the Invisible Man's coming up, and he's going to slit her throat, right? We know that's coming. And who was the writer of that? Was it Lee Wannell, or however you say his name? But remember, the waiter is like doing jokes. He's like, "Do you want this?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Do you want?" It's like a thing, and people are laughing. And then all of a sudden, the knife slits her throat. And then she looks like there aren't security cameras in there. Like nobody in the restaurant saw the knife move by itself. You know, it's just like tightly packed restaurant. That's when I go, okay, I'm done with this film. That film is one of the most overrated films, certainly the past decade. Like, remember Invisible Man for Best Picture? Like, what? What? What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, sometimes I'm telling you guys, it's so bad. Michael, it's so bad, isn't it? It's so terrible. Anything's better than Invisible Man 2020. Like, name a movie. I will tell you a movie that is better. Let's do a whack film review spotlight, because there's probably someone who recommended Five Nights at Freddy's. I have not looked yet. You guys ready to do this? Let's call out everybody who said this is a fresh film. It's at 28%. Now, Believer is like at 20-something%. Believer kicks the shit out of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, they're not even in the same universe, okay? So that's how messed up Rotten Tomatoes is with this whole tomato meter. So I don't even care about that number. I just want to go through some of the reviews, and I can't wait, because every single one of these reviews that are bad, I haven't looked yet, are going to say the screenplay is an abomination. Every single one. Detroit News, a D. There, okay, here it is. This is A.A. Dowd, IGN Movies, right here. Exactly what we talked about last night. There is a ton of character melodrama. And it's like, why did you want to have all of this extraneous plot tacked on to this film that should only be about the characters and the security guard? Instead, you get this whole backstory of the security guard and his sister he's watching, and the custody battle, and the fact that he's dealing with trauma. It's terrible. It's one of the worst scripts ever written in the history of film. Oh my God. Jim Shimbry. You guys ready? Here it is. Here's the whack film review spotlight number 1. Good horror films rely on suspension of disbelief, and here it is deftly engineered without recourse to cliche or cheap theatrics. Provides spooky atmosphere and quality jolts. Neither of those things. Jim, holy crap, bro. Yet what really gives the film its creeps is its compelling, vivid dream angle. Oh, the dream that he keeps having every night. He has to go into his dream catcher thing, and he has to keep reliving the day that his brother was abducted. That's creepy. It's not creepy. It's terrible. There, everything else is rotten. Good. Rotten. Even this is how bad Five Nights at Freddy's is right now. Even Pete Hammond says it's terrible. Pete Hammond likes everything. Pete Hammond is the Mikey of film critics. Remember, here's your thing of life. Oh, Mikey will eat anything. Of course, life's amazing. So whatever to that. That was the stupidest commercial ever. Life is the best cereal ever made, other than Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it's a little healthier. But Pete Hammond is the Mikey of critics, and he even hated the film. Oh, my God. Oh, this is fun. Let's see what else. Is there any more? Who is the movie couple? Oh my God. Maybe I should get another person on here and call myself the MMT movie couple. We'll just copy that shit because other people are copying MMT. So why not? Let's do it. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Let's hit some more. Let's see. Let me just hit fresh. There's 20 fresh. There's 20 fresh reviews. Jim Shimbry. We already did him. Tara Bennett of Pace Magazine, an entry-level tween teen horror film meant to woo that age demographic into the world of scares with some edge and blood. Tara, you clearly were not paying attention to all of the emotional baggage that was thrown into this film for no reason whatsoever. And any tween that has to sit through all of that shit is going to hate it. That's what I'm saying. These Freddys fans are going to come out of this film. They're going to go after Blum. It's coming. Because once they realize the movie's terrible, they're going to say here's what they're running on right now. Like the audience I saw last night, they're running on, oh my God, I just saw my characters in my video game come to life on the big screen and they look great, and that's there. But then they're going to go, oh my God, but the movie was shit, and then they're going to get angry, right? You know, stories. The initial thing, they're in shock. Everybody who liked this film, the fans are in shock, and when they actually think about the film, they're going to get angry. And then you don't want to be around a fan from Five Nights at Freddy's because they're going to go after Jason Blum. They're going to go after Blumhouse because they destroyed this franchise. That's how terrible this film is. Perfectly captures the menacing yet endearing animatronics with the same quirky horror that fans... No, it's not at all as much fun as Megan. Jordy Sirkin, you need to get out of film reviewing. This is, you guys, I'm sorry. I don't care anymore. You guys know I don't give a shit. You can't be whoever Jordy Sirkin is. Remember, we talk about this all the time. We talk about you can't just say you're a film critic. You can't do that. I can't say I'm an NFL receiver. I can't say I'm an NBA basketball player. I can't say that I am an Premier League soccer player, clearly, even though I have every football kit known to man, including tonight, Houston Dynamo MLS, as the playoffs get underway. And of course, it's orange. Why? Because we are in Halloween time, baby. We only have a few more days. So I switched everything to orange. But Jordy, listen, we can't just have anybody in here putting things in the tomato meter like this, because there's nothing this film perfectly captures outside of the animatronics. So Jordy Sirkin, you need to leave for a while. Like, you need to step out of the space. And by the way, now everyone's going to, well, she's a woman. I don't care. I don't care if she's a woman or man. I just attacked Tara and Jordy. They're both women. Turns out, guess who's not a woman, guys? The first person I talked, Jim Shimbry, not a woman. Let's see about Graham Tuckett. Last I can check, not a woman. Five Nights at Freddy is funny. What? Oh my God. Has a couple of terrific jump scares, which I don't remember one, but terrific. and surprisingly involving script. That's it. I think I'm going to shut the stream off at this point. I can't do this anymore with some of these critics. It's true, Michael. It's really true. It's really true that anybody can basically get on that site. But I'm telling you that it's unbelievable that there are people. Grace ran. Oh shit, she didn't. A fun treat for Halloween weekend. Plus, this PG-13 movie is fun. She's fun twice in the same sentence. That's pretty fucked for almost everyone. Enough scares to satisfy horror fans, but not so many that general audiences can't enjoy the story. There's this. No one's enjoying the story. Grace ran. Okay, that's it. This is the street. I'm gonna go for like another 2 seconds, and I'm getting out of here. I'm angry. Now I'm furious. Grace Randolph is the worst film critic to ever grace planet Earth. And yes, I used grace twice in the same sentence, just like her, who used fun twice in that sentence. The film is not fun. So that's a double absolute elimination. She's done. We can't ever listen to her again. Why do you guys watch Grace Randolph? I can't believe that this person, doesn't matter if she's a man or woman, has an audience. This is an embarrassment. Guys, I didn't even want to do a show tonight. I got another 3 minutes and I'm out of here. I am now angrier than I was when I just wanted to take the night off. But I had to tell Jason Blum he completely destroyed this film. I had to. So someone tell him that for me. Of course she likes it. Because she's terrible. She's a terrible film critic. I'm not going to do it, Luis. I'm gonna pull back because I'm gonna listen as I kind of wrap the show here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm kind of at the point where I'm considering just, I don't know. I'm considering not doing this much longer because it is infuriating. Because the films I have seen lately are getting. I haven't seen one great film this year. I saw Killers of the Flower Moon. It's a very, very strong film. But I'm seeing so many bad products now. I'm convinced, and I'm not even the anti-woke guy, and I don't even think, Five Nights at Freddy's is a woke situation. But I'm convinced that there are people working in Hollywood, too many people in Hollywood working, that are incredibly skillless and I don't know how they have jobs, and I'm at the point where I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm tired of a society that is telling me that anybody can do anything, because it's not true. Okay, I'm tired of saying you can be a film critic. No, you can't. You, like the people I just showed tonight, you guys all suck. Not because of missing on Freddys. You can't miss this bad. But I'm tired of everyone pretending in this world that if you say you can do something, you're the person. No, that's not true. And at this point, I shouldn't have done a show tonight. I really am not in the mood. I'll do a couple more things. I'm out here. She didn't like Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, but she gives a recommendation to this. Of course she does. And the other reason that I'm considering stopping doing MMT altogether is, can I just show you guys real quick? Let's just go check out Grace Randolph. Listen, I don't do this. I've told you guys, I really do. I mean this. I don't do this for, first of all, can I just say something? First of all, I want to say something. Yeah, I want to just say it. This is why I don't want to do this anymore. When I put in Grace Randolph, it's like she's a celebrity. It's like, how did this person become successful at what she does? And can I, while I'm on this, let me just go a little bit further, because I want to do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I've done it a lot. In life, there are people who have greatly overachieved. Grace Randolph is one of those people. Someone who should have never succeeded at the level that she did, and yet here she is as a quasi-celebrity, leading the blind as a blind person. No disrespect to blind people. You get my point. It is a little disheartening, because you feel like you bring something to the table, and I know I do. but you get Grace Randolph with how many viewers does she have? I mean, listen, guys, I'm not saying I do. I'm just telling you that.
Wow, what a good movie! I'm now kind of totally into Five Nights at Freddy's, but that wasn't always the case. Allow me to explain my journey in the hopes that you can take it too. So earlier this week, after I reported on Movie Math that Five Nights at Freddy's was looking at a huge opening weekend, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I asked her why
she's not
she
even
thought
a real human being. No one talks like that. Tonight saw Five Nights at Freddy's, and I said on Movie Math it's going to be a big movie. What if I came on here and did that? Hey, guys, it's time for MMT. As I said on Breaking Box Office, Five Nights at Freddy's going to be a big movie. I told you guys. And let me say that I want
a movie which debuts day and date on Peacock.
She's reading off of a teleprompter. It's an embarrassment, and I'm honestly, that's it. The stream's over tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that, Michael. I'm going to try. I might be back Sunday. I might take a long time off. I can't do this anymore. With a Grace Randolph at almost 1 billion subscribers, 1 million. And it's fine. I told you I swear I don't. But it's like, do you understand what I'm saying here? What I'm trying to tell you is we have a society that makes this what people watch. People watch that? Terrible. It's terrible. All right, guys. I promise to be in a better mood on Sunday. This was a wild half hour. It was a short show, but I think I almost didn't do the show, but it is what it is. The show is what it is. I'll talk to you guys on Sunday. But a reminder, Blumhouse, you should be ashamed because you made a shitty film from a IP that should have been great. And you should be embarrassed by what you put out. That's how bad the screenplay is. The film's terrible, and that makes me angry. Not as angry as Grace Randolph. Peace out.